Which cryptocurrency is being attacked by the SEC after XRP? How long will crypto holders believe in Ripple? How much will XRP cost in mid-2020? 3. We will answer. In December of 2020, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a lawsuit against Ripple Labs, claiming that XRP tokens were offered by Ripple and its officials as unregistered securities. Ripple, the third biggest cryptocurrency by market value, is accused by the SEC of raising $1.03 billion via unregistered sales of XRP, according to Ripple's defense. XRP is not a security but rather a cryptocurrency in the same vein as Bitcoin and Ethereum. In its most recent quarterly report, Ripple said the SEC had failed to persuade a judge to order the company to turn over confidential material. According to reports, the files in issue pertain to Ripple's legal opinion on whether or not XRP constitutes a security. Ripple asserts that the records would demonstrate that it did not willfully break securities laws. To add insult to injury, Ripple claims that the case's summary decision will be issued in the year 2023. A summary judgment is a pretrial judicial decision on the merits of a case. The summary judgment would decide whether or not XRP is a security in this instance. The lawsuit would be dropped if the court sided with Ripple. The lawsuit will go to trial if the SEC convinces the court to do so. If what Ripple says is accurate, it might end up being good for business. Ripple may have behaved in good faith and not knowingly violated securities laws, as shown by the aforementioned papers. In addition, the cryptocurrency sector as a whole stands to benefit greatly from a judge's ruling in favor of Ripple in the summary judgment. A ruling that XRP is not a security might pave the way for wider use of the cryptocurrency. Keep in mind that the case's fate is still up in the air. The lawsuit may be resolved by summary judgment in favor of the SEC, or it may go to trial. The SECs might still file an appeal even if the court decides in Ripple's favor. The legal struggle between Ripple and the SECs is expected to go on for some time, and the result is anyone's guess at this point. Investors who filed a class action lawsuit against Ripple 4 years ago, alleging that XRP is a securities, want to pursue their case. The parties in the Zakina v. Ripple action will be heard on April 26 in a federal court in California, according to an update published on Wednesday by Crypto Law, a regulatory news website for digital assets. The website also said that 500 people maximum should have access to the proceedings online. Statement: the hearing is for oral arguments on the question of certifying the class of XRP holders suing Ripple. Investor Bradley Sostak is serving as lead plaintiff in a case filed against Ripple and CEO Brad Garlinghouse by 2019 plaintiff Vladi Zakhanov and 2 other persons. After taking a significant loss on the sale of XRP in January 2018, Vladi Zakhanov filed a lawsuit against the defendants, alleging that XRP is an unregistered securities. Additionally, the plaintiff hoped to get the case certified as a class action lawsuit covering any and all purchasers of XRP. Defendants, however, argued that XRP is not a security and asked the court to throw out the lawsuit. Oral arguments on whether to certify the class of XRP holders suing Ripple will be heard today, as announced by Crypto Law. The plaintiff, Bradley Sostak, who owned XRP for 2 weeks, is asking to be lead plaintiff in the class and is asking to represent all XRP holders who either owned it and sold it at a loss or own it today, Crypto Law said. While his request has not yet been decided on, John Deaton, who had submitted an amicus brief on behalf of 75,000 XRP holders in the dispute, said that he plans to watch the proceedings. However, as Ripple fights out the lawsuit, the community is still interested in the outcome of the company's parallel fight with the SEC. Most of the papers have been submitted, thus a summary decision from Judge Annalisa Torres is possible shortly. In the meanwhile, The continuing litigation has created further uncertainty for investors who must decide whether to liquidate their shares or wait for a resolution. Nevertheless, most analysts feel Ripple might bag a victory, aiding XRP's ability to break new territory in light of SEC's seeming blitz on the crypto industry despite the absence of necessary laws. In the interest of providing some context, it is important to note that Coinbase has just initiated legal action against the SEC in the United States Circuit Court. The lawsuit originates from a petition for rulemaking that the biggest cryptocurrency exchange sent to the SEC in July, seeking that the agency offer regulatory rules for the cryptocurrency sector. The petition was filed by the exchange, which is demanding that the SEC establish regulatory standards for the cryptocurrency industry. Coinbase intends to use the action to compel the organization responsible for regulating securities to provide affirmative or negative responses to a number of questions. Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, was the one to break the news. As a direct consequence of this, advocates of XRP as well as cryptographic currencies in general have expressed their satisfaction with the news. Supporters of Bitcoin Cash, BCH, the sixth largest cryptocurrency in terms of market size, have rushed to Twitter to express their elation at Coinbase's intention to fight the SEC. BCH is ranked 6th in terms of market size. Jeremy Hogan, a partner at Hogan, and a lawyer, was one among the numerous members of the XRP community to give the San Francisco-based exchange positive feedback. The pro-XRP attorney reacted to a question regarding Coinbase's case against the SEC by tweeting today something along the lines of the best form of defense is a good offense. Coinbase's legal counsel Hogan believes that this step demonstrates that the company was not prepared to take a passive stance and wait for a case to be filed by the SEC. It is possible that Hogan was making a reference to the Wells notice that was sent to Coinbase by the SEC earlier this month. The choice made by the San Francisco-based exchange to challenge the SEC was applauded not only by the aforementioned attorney Hogan, but also by other members of the XRP community. In the meanwhile, some people who support XRP have the opinion that there is no good reason to applaud Coinbase's move against the SEC. In a tweet that was published today, an anonymous XRP analyst named CryptoBull encouraged investors in the sixth largest cryptocurrency not to celebrate Coinbase's plan to fight the SEC. Coinbase is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And prominent individual referred to the cryptocurrency exchange situated in San Francisco as a coward, after the exchange removed XRP from its listing and did not support Ripple in its first legal battle against the SEC. On the other side, Attorney Hogan disagrees with CryptoBull and believes that many XRP proponents no longer see Coinbase as an adversary.